Hello friends, this time I want us to solve a question on geometric progressions from one of the examination papers in Zambia, which was written in 2020 final exams. So the question here is question number 2b, part B of the question, which says the sum of n terms of a geometric progression, or GP, is given by this formula here. So I'll write the formula. So the sum is given by 10 minus 10 over 2 to the power n. So this is the formula for the sum that we are given in the question. Now the first question says find the sum of the first 4 terms. Find the sum of the first 4 terms. So our first question is just asking us to substitute 4 where there is n. Or in short, we are saying find the sum when n is equal to 4 in this formula. So the sum of the first 4 terms, we are going to have S4 is equal to 10 minus 10 2 to the power 4. So we are going to need our calculator for this one. And this is going to give us 10 minus 10 over 16, which we can simplify here because we know that this number here can be simplified. So we are going to have 10 minus 2 into 10 is 5, 2 into 16 is 8. And so at this stage we can find the common denominators. We are going to have 8 here. So 1 into 8 is 8 times 10. We have 80 minus 8 into 8 is 1 times 5. There we have 5. And this gives us 75 over 8 as the sum of the first 4 terms. Okay, so this is the sum of the first 4 terms that we have. Now we are going to the second question, which says find the first term. Find the first term. So finding the first term, this is question 2. So to find the first term, since we are given the sum of the first any terms of the sequence we are given in the question, here it is. What we do now is to use the formula for the sum of the general term, or the sum of a geometric sequence, which is given by a 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r. So the way we are going to solve and to find the first term here is we are going to equate these two. These two here, we are going to equate them because these ones will cancel out, they are the same. So we are going to have a 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r is equal to 10 minus 10 over 2 to the power n. Okay, so now that we have equated these two, the next step now is to replace now n with 1. N equals 1 into this equation that we have here. So we are going to have a 1 minus r to the power 1 over 1 minus r, which is equal to 10 minus 10 over 2 to the power 1. Okay, so r to the power 1 is just r. So you have 1 minus r and 1 minus r here. So these two are going to cancel out. You remain with a, which is the first term, is equal to 10 minus, and then you can divide 2 into 10, you are going to have 5. And so here we are going to have 10 minus 5, which gives us 5 as our first term. So our first term is 5. Now we can go to the third question. Now in the third question, the question says find the first 4 terms. So to find the first 4 terms, you need the common ratio. You are going to need the common ratio because you already have the first term, but now you need the common ratio to find the other terms. So we are going to use the same equation that we have here to find the common ratio. And here is how we use it. So number 3, we have a 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r is equal to 10 minus 10 over 2 to the power n. So now in this case, now to find our r, we are going to substitute n with 2. N is equal to 2. And so not only n is equal to 2, but a, we also found our a, which is our first term, it's equal to 5. So we are going to substitute these into this equation here. So where there's a here, I'll put a 5. We'll replace that with 5. 1 minus r to the power 2 all over 1 minus r is equal to 10 minus 10 over 2 to the power 2. Okay, n is 2. At this stage now, we are going to factorize here on top. This is the difference of two squares. So the difference of squares, we are going to have 1, the square root of 1 is 1. 1 minus r times 1 plus r. That is how we factorize the difference of two squares. All over 1 minus r. And this is going to be 10 minus 10 over 4. Okay, so here you notice that there are some things that can cancel here. The denominator will cancel with this 1 minus r here. And therefore you are going to remain with 5. 1 plus r is equal to, and then at this stage now here, we can simplify on the right hand side of the equation here. We can simplify that one, which is going to give us now, here we are going to have 10 minus 2 into 10 is 5, 2 into 4 is 2. Okay, so here we are going to expand the brackets on the left hand side here. So we are going to have 5 times 1, which will give us 5 plus 5r is equal to, and then this side we can find common denominators. So we can write this 10 as 10 over 1. So we are going to have 2 times 10, which will give us 20, minus 1 times 5, which will give us 5, over 1 times 2, which will give us 2. And so this one here is going to give us 5 plus 5r is equal to 20 minus 5 is 15 over 2. And then we can correct right terms here. So 5r is equal to 15 over 2 minus 5. So you can write this 5 as 5 over 1. So we are going to continue also here. So what we have now is 5r is equal to 15 over 2 minus 5 over 1. So at this stage now, we are going to find common denominators. So to find the common denominator here is found by multiplying 2 times 1 here, which will give us 2. And then we are going to do 2 into 2 is 1 times 15, we have 15 there. Minus 1 into 2 is 2 times 5, you have 10. And this is equal to 5r. So 5r is equal to 15 minus 10 is actually 5 over 2. And then we divide both sides by 5. Both sides by 5. And our r will be equal to, at this stage now we can cancel this 5 and that 5 there. 5 into 5 is 1, 5 into 5 there is 1. And our common ratio is going to be 1 over 2. So this is our common ratio. Now we are ready to find the first 4 terms. So since our first term is 5, the way we find the first 4 terms now is, here is the first term. To find the second term, we are going to multiply this first term by the common ratio. So term number 1 is equal to 5. Term number 2 will be equal to 5 times half, which will give us 5 times 1, which is 5 over 2. Term number 3 will be equal to 5 over 2 times the common ratio, which is 1 over 2, which will give us 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 2 is 4. And the fourth term, the last term, is going to be this 5 over 4, 5 over 4 times 1 over 2, which will give us 5 times 1 is 5, and 4 times 2 will give us 8. And therefore, the first 4 terms are 5, which is the first term. The second term is 5 over 2. The third term is 5 over 4. And the fourth term is 5 over 8. And this marks the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for paying attention.